Okay. I have no idea if this is working. I don't know if I'm in people's living rooms, on people's laptops, whatever. Give me a little bit of a shout if you can see me, if you can hear me, if everything's all right. Oh, we can see you. Beautiful. Okay. I don't think there's as much of a lag on YouTube as there is on places like Instagram and Facebook. So hopefully the comments are going to be coming up in generally real time. So there are definitely a few people here today who weren't in my last live stream. So I'm just going to explain a couple of little bits. I've just got a text from Ryan to say you are. So I'm assuming that means he can see me as well. So for those of you who haven't done a live stream quiz before, a few little rules to go through. Number one is if you think you know the answer, write it down on a piece of paper and a pad. Please don't put it in the comments, because if you put it in the comments, it kind of ruins it for everyone else who might be working their way through the answers in their head. So please don't write them in the comments. Do write them down on a piece of paper. I will do all of the questions first, then I will do the answers afterwards. So we'll do all of the questions, then all the answers. I'm not going to do round by round. And just bear in mind that last time I did the live stream, there was a few buffering issues. A few issues with the fact that some people couldn't see me sometimes because they kept kind of jolting and buffering. So just be aware of that. If there are any issues, please do put in the comments and I will repeat any questions that you need me to. I have asked the rest of my family to not do anything that involves technology for the next hour or so. So just be aware that that might happen, but I can of course put things in the comments, and I can read your comments as well, so just let me know if there's anything wrong. Brief explanation about the quiz itself. We have 6 rounds. It's based on the rounds of Trivial Pursuit. For those of you who have ever played Trivial Pursuit, we're a big Trivial Pursuit fan in my family, so we absolutely love it. And each of the rounds is the categories that are in Trivial Pursuit. So those quizzes among you will be aware of what those rounds are. I will get to the rounds later. I would say that most of these questions are typically pub quiz book sort of questions. So hopefully there's something in here for everybody. I've tried not to make it too hard. I did try it out yesterday on a group of my musical theatre company that I'm a part of. I tried it out on them and there were families that were doing it, so hopefully it's not too tricky if the kids were also enjoying themselves. At the end of the day, I hope you have fun. There's no winner. It would just be someone will get the most points. You don't get anything other than eternal pride. So I think I've given everyone about 4 minutes to kind of get here. So I think we're just going to crack on with the quiz and see what happens. So our first round. Hang on, I've got a text from Ryan. Hang on a minute. Ryan's just texted saying there is a winner. It will be us. He is apparently watching with his sister today, so big hello to her, because not sure if she's watched me quizzes before. So here we go. Round number 1 has 10 questions. Each round has 10 questions, but some of them have different numbers of points. I will explain them when I get there. There's 10 questions in each round, so that's 60 questions, but it's out of 72. So if you're the person that likes to organise yourself before the quiz starts, Patterns, I'm looking at you, then there's 60 questions, but 72 points. Round number 1. Round number 1 is geography. So geography questions, 10 questions, but some extra points up for grabs. Question number 1 in the geography round. The Asian country, formerly known as Siam, is now known by what name? That was question 1. The Asian country, formerly known as Siam, is now known by what name? I'll give you a few moments. Helena and Martin, not a good start for us. Oh, Chloe's here. Quiz time. Amazing. Sorry, Helena and Martin. Number two. What is the name of the tallest waterfall in the world? You get a second point for this question, a bonus point, if you can name the country in which you find it. Slight clue for the Disney fans out there. This is vaguely related to Disney. Pixar. It's the name of the tallest waterfall in the world. A bonus point if you can name the country in which you can find it. So there's 2 points up for grabs. Actually, I'm going to be kind. If you can't get the name of the waterfall itself, but you can get the country, you still get 1 point. So it's 1 point for the waterfall and 1 point for the country. Number 3, how many counties are there in England? And this is multiple choice. So how many counties are there in England? Is it 38, 48, or 58? 38, 48, or 58 counties in England. Number 4, which river runs through Paris? Which river runs through Paris? Question number 5. Lima, 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 is the capital city of which country? Now, if you've been watching Joe Wicks recently, which I try to do every morning, last week he did a geography kind of knowledge quiz, and this was actually one of his questions. So if you were listening hard during your exercising, you will know. Helena Martin, I've got one. I think that might have been the Paris one that you got. So Lima is the capital city of which country? That was question number 5. Question number 6. Uluru is more commonly known by what name? Uluru is more commonly known by what name? That's Uluru. Uluru is more commonly known by what name? And that was question number 6. Question number 7. Now, this is a 2-point question. The first 4 national parks to be opened in the UK all opened in 1951. Name 2 of them. You get 1 point for each that you name. The first 4 national parks to be opened in the UK all opened in 1951. Name 2 of them. So name 2 of the first national parks to be opened in the UK. If you can name all 4, you still only get 2 points. Unfortunately, that is just how my quiz works. So if you can name all 4, great, but you only get 2. If you can name 2, you get 2. If you can name 1, you get 1. I would just suggest naming 2. Okay, number 8. If I was going to fly from London to New York City, which ocean would I fly over? If I was going to fly from London to New York City, which ocean would I fly over? I just think Daphne has got no clue because she's not British. I mean, to be fair, I am British and I would probably struggle with how many counties are there in England and the national parks. So I don't blame you for not having any idea. So the London to New York City one was number 8. And then number 9. Name Africa's Big 5. Name Africa's Big 5. Everyone's saying I'm not having a great start. The geography one is pretty hard, to be fair. The Africa's Big 5, for those of you who might not know, I'm going to be helpful. The Big 5 are the animals that they kind of consider the hardest ones to hunt in the wild. So they're the ones that people want to see the most on safari, and they're basically kind of like the iconic animals, I suppose, of Africa. But there are a specific 5 animals. So name the Big 5. And for this question, you will get 1 point for each of the Big 5 that you get correct. So put 5 animals down and you get 1 point for each one that's correct. Okay, and number 10. I'll give you a little bit of time after this one just to have a think. How many states in the USA begin with the letter M? M for Mickey Mouse or musical theatre. Two of my favourite things. How many states in the USA begin with the letter M? You might want to count them or guess. Once you've had a thought about that, I am going to just do a little run through the geography round again in case you missed any or in case you want reminding. Whenever I do quizzes, I always use like the margin of the page as like little notes to kind of remind myself the ones that I've missed. So round one, geography. Number one, the Asian country formerly known as Siam is now known as what? Number two, what is the name of the tallest waterfall in the world? And a second bonus point if you can name the country in which you find it. How many counties are there in England? Is it 38, 48, or 58? Number four, which river runs through Paris? Number five, Lima is the capital city of which country? Number six, Uluru is more commonly known by what name? Number seven, the first four national parks to be opened in the UK all opened in 1951. Name two of them. That's 2 points. If I was going to fly from London to New York City, which ocean would I fly over? Name Africa's big five, and that's 5 points up for grabs. What I will consider cheating is if you name like 10 animals and 5 of them happen to be the big five. I can't obviously control that, but if I was there in your households, I would not be happy. And then number 10, how many states in the USA begin with the letter M? Those are your geography questions. Let me know when you think you are ready to move on. I don't want to move too fast for you if you're still counting your American states or naming African animals. Ryan's just texted and said rubbish. So I'm not sure if he means that the round was rubbish or that him and his sister were cheating by naming 10 animals. I'm not sure which one it is, but he knows how disappointed I would be if he cheated. I'm very serious about quizzing. Right, lots of guesses there from Helen and Martin. Oh, he's texted and said both. Okay, right, well, here we go. Lots of guesses going on, lots of people guessing. Right, fine. We're going to move on. So we're going to go to entertainment, which is round number 2. Round number 2 is entertainment. So, question number 1. What popular children's TV show that ran from the 1950s to the 1980s in the UK began with the words, "It's Friday, it's 5 to 5"? What popular children's TV show that ran from the 1950s to the 1980s in the UK began with the words, "It's Friday, it's 5 to 5"? I realise that Daphne might have a tricky job at some questions if they are based on the UK. Number 2. The musical We Will Rock You includes the music of which famous band? The musical We Will Rock You includes the music of which famous band? Number 3. This is 4 points, this question. Number 3. Name all 4 Teletubbies. Name all 4 Teletubbies. If you know the Teletubbies, I guarantee you're going to be singing right now. Name all 4 Teletubbies. And that's 1 point for each that you get correct. Number 4. How many number 1 singles has Ed Sheeran had? How many number 1 singles has Ed Sheeran had? Number 5. Which English actor won the 2014 Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in The Theory of Everything? One of my favourite actors ever. Which English actor won the 2014 Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in The Theory of Everything? So firstly, I've got a comment that says, did you know the Teletubbies have kids now? No, I did not know that the Teletubbies had kids. And you pronounce Teletubbies so different from us. Oh my goodness me. So it appears that other countries around Europe pronounce Teletubbies different. I'm not sure how I should pronounce it. Because they have tellies in their tubbies, I guess. Right. Number 6. What was the name of the flying car invented by Caractacus Potts? What was the name of the flying car invented by Caractacus Potts? Oh, Helena and Martin apparently loved the previous film. Theory of Everything. It's a good film. So number 6, the name of the flying car invented by Caractacus Potts. Bear in mind this is a entertainment question, so it's not science. Number 7. Again, 4 points for this one. Name all 4 members of Little Mix. The first names are fine, but if you want to put surnames, you can. It's just not going to get you any extra points. All 4 members of the band Little Mix. Oh, apparently it's more like Teletubbies. Teletubbies. Interesting. So all 4 members of Little Mix, first names are okay. Spellings also don't matter as long as you know what you've put and I say something that sounds like what you've put. It's fine. Okay, number 8. In which movie did David Bowie, or Bowie, in which movie did David Bowie appear as Jareth the Goblin King? In which movie did David Bowie appear as Jareth the Goblin King? We had some interesting answers in my household for that one when I tried it out on my family. And number 9. Which musical is the song I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here from? Which musical is the song I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here from? We had to have some musical theatre questions in the entertainment round because there's no Disney in this quiz, so I had to get my other love in. So, which musical is the song I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here from? And number 10. What is the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movies? What is the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movies? So that was your entertainment round. I'm going to whiz through them again. Number 1, what popular children's TV show that ran from the 1950s to the 1980s in the UK began with the words, "It's Friday, it's 5 to 5"? Number 2, the musical We Will Rock You includes the music of which band? Number 3, name all 4 Teletubbies. That's a 4-pointer. Number 4, how many number 1 singles has Ed Sheeran had? Number 5, which English actor won the 2014 Academy Award for Best Actor for his role in The Theory of Everything? Number 6, what was the name of the flying car invented by Caractacus Potts? Number 7, name all 4 members of Little Mix. Again, a 4-pointer. First names are okay. Number 8, in which movie did David Bowie appear as Jareth the Goblin King? Number 9, which musical is the song I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here from? And number 10, what is the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movies? That was your round 2 entertainment. Both geography and entertainment are out of 16. The rest of the 4 rounds are out of 10. So there's no extra points up for grabs in any other rounds. It's just those first 2. So let me know when you're ready to move on. When you think you're there. There appears to be no buffering issues, so I'm happy. I'm happy that no one appears to be missing out on any questions. My favourite thing that I've learned though is that Teletubbies in the Netherlands is like Teletubbies. Makes me happy. We're ready to go. Okay, right. Got some comments to say ready, so let's crack on. Round number 3 is science and nature. Science and nature. 10 questions, no bonus points. Here we go. Question number 1. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what? Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what? If you're a fan of Friends, I cannot help But think of the "You've Been Bamboozled" episode, just because that cracks me up every time. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what? And no, it is not the answer that Ross gives. Question number 2. What is the collective name for a group of owls? What is the collective name for a group of owls? Okay, number 3. What is the largest internal organ in the human body? The largest internal organ in the human body. Chloe's just commented and said, the Friends clue really helped me there. Great. I'm glad you're such a fan of Friends that would help. Those sort of people are my sort of people. Number 4, which element that used to be used in thermometers is also known as quicksilver? Which element that used to be used in thermometers is also known as quicksilver? Number 5, approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by water? Is it 61, 71, or 81%? Approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by water? Is it 61, 71, or 81%? Number 6. On what continent do giraffes live in the wild? On what continent do giraffes live in the wild? Number 7. What is the 2-letter periodic symbol for iron? What is the 2-letter periodic symbol for iron? Number 8. And make sure you think hard about this one. Number 8. In 1961, who was the first human being to travel into space? In 1961, who was the first human being to travel into space? Number 9. Which is the longest bone in the human body? I will accept either like the technical name or the place where it is followed by bone. But either is fine, providing you get the right answer. And number 10, what name is given to a baby koala? What name is given to a baby koala? They were your science and nature questions. I'm just going to breeze through them again once more for you. Number 1, triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what? Number 2, what is the collective name for a group of owls? Number 3, what is the largest internal organ in the human body? Number 4, which element that used to be used in thermometers is also known as quicksilver? Number 5, approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by water? 61, 71, or 81? On what continent do giraffes live in the wild? What is the 2-letter periodic symbol for iron? In 1961, who was the first human being to travel into space? Which is the longest bone in the human body? And what name is given to a baby koala? They are your science and nature questions. And now we move on to round 4. So they should be out of 10, your science and nature. And round 4, which is sport and leisure, is going to be out of 10 as well. Just giving you a little bit of time to think about anything you might need to think about in the round 3. And now I'm going to move on. That was your time. So here we go. Sport and leisure, round 4. Question 1. Who ran the first 4-minute mile? Who ran the first 4-minute mile? I just had a comment. Slowly discovering that my smarts lie solely in Disney and musical theatre. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, that happens when you do a pub quiz and you think, oh, hang on, this is not my area of expertise. General knowledge is not my thing. So, who ran the first 4-minute mile was question one. Question number two. What is the name of the small round object that ice hockey teams hit with their sticks? What is the name of the small round object that ice hockey teams hit with their sticks? Number three. In which sport can you win the Davis Cup? In which sport can you win the Davis Cup? Number four. What is the name of the Barcelona football stadium? What is the name of the Barcelona football stadium? Daphne's just said same, as well as Harry Potter. To be fair, Harry Potter knowledge is also good knowledge to have. So, okay, number five. What is the most expensive property on a standard British Monopoly board? What is the most expensive property on a standard British Monopoly board? I struggled with this question when I was writing it. I knew I wanted to include it, but I wasn't entirely sure what the answer was because I grew up with Disney Monopoly, and now Ryan has National Trust Monopoly. So I don't really know a normal board. I know that the most expensive property is The Lion King because that's all I've grown up with. So yeah, I didn't know. Now I do. And number six. In netball, what does WA stand for? WA. What does it stand for in netball? Number seven. Which chess piece can only move diagonally? Which chess piece can only move diagonally? There's a lot of comments of people saying this isn't going too well. I'm not sure where my knowledge lies. So number seven was which chess piece can only move diagonally. Number eight, in meters, how long is an Olympic swimming pool? In meters, how long is an Olympic swimming pool? Number nine, what is considered the national sport of Japan? What is considered the national sport of Japan? My brother was nervous to answer this one without sounding like a massive racist. It turns out he was actually correct, but he was worried that he was going to like culturally appropriate someone. The national sport of Japan. Number 10, in the London 2012 Olympics, Team GB won their first ever gold medal in women's boxing. Which boxer won it? In the London 2012 Olympics, Team GB won their first ever gold medal in women's boxing. Which boxer won it? Unfortunately, for those of you who are joining us that are not from the UK, I only just realised how many kind of British-based questions there are. I thought it was quite generic, but to be fair, pub quizzes tend to be a very British thing. So, right, so quick breeze through them. Number one, who ran the first 4-minute mile? Number two, what is the name of the small round object that ice hockey teams hit with their sticks? Number three, in which sport can you win the Davis Cup? Number four, what is the name of the Barcelona football stadium? Number five, what is the most expensive property on a standard British Monopoly board? Number six, in netball, what does WA stand for? Number seven, which chess piece can only move diagonally? Number eight, in meters, how long is an Olympic swimming pool? Number nine, what is considered the national sport of Japan? Number 10, in the London 2012 Olympics, Team GB won their first ever gold medal in women's boxing, but which boxer won it? They were your 10 sport and leisure questions. Round number 5 is the penultimate round. And it is history. For you history buffs out there, that is what we're about to do. Sorry, I'm just fixing my ring light because it's not doing its job. So yes, we're about to do a history round. When you are ready, let me know in the little comments. And I will crack on. Hope you're all loving the pub quiz so far. I really considered having a bowl of peanuts and some beef jerky and some outrageously expensive crisps that were too oily and a pot of chips that that you ended up paying like £8 for a tiny tub. I also wanted a J2O, but that wasn't going to happen. Kicking ourselves over the Barcelona stadium question. We went, oh no, oh you too. I wonder if Ryan got that question because Ryan's been to Barcelona recently. Oh, Ryan has just texted me. Yeah, okay. He's also just texted me the bit that I was about to get to, and a tankard of ale that I was gonna get. Dad's got a tankard in the cupboard, and I was gonna be like, "This is my pub quiz," but I wasn't really sure how to dress as a pub landlord. So I've got a Disney blanket on my knees, and I've got a blackcurrant squash instead. So here we go. Here we go. Ryan did get it. Oh, Ryan did get the Barcelona question. Good for you. Round 5, history. Question 1. Who was Henry VIII's last wife? Who was Henry VIII's last wife? Daphne is just sitting here in my PJs with a cup of tea and some chocolate. Ah, that sounds beautiful. I was considering getting her PJs, but I thought that would be a little bit weird. Me just live streaming from my couch on my PJs. Number 2. In what year did World War I begin? In what year did World War I begin? Number 3. Number 3. This one's pretty tricky unless you know this area. Who found the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings in November 1922? Who found the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings in November 1922? Now, I watched a documentary about this a couple of months ago, so I happen to know this. And my mum is in a particular primary school year that does the Egyptians. So she also happened to know it, but no one else really did. Number 4. During the Crimean War, who was the lady with the lamp? During the Crimean War, who was the lady with the lamp? I've just received a text from Ryan. I can't read it out because it will give away the answer. But but I have to read it out later because it's hilarious. Oh, at least you're learning. So this is good. You're learning all the time. Number 5. What nationality was the polar explorer Roald Amundsen? What nationality was polar explorer Roald Amundsen? I might be wrong, but I think he was the guy that was in the tent, and he said, "I'm going outside for a bit. I may be some time," and then he never came back because he died. I kind of feel like it's that guy, but I'm not entirely sure. That was certainly a polar explorer of some sort. Number 6. Donald Trump is which number president? Donald Trump is which number president? Number 7. How many days did Anne Frank spend in her secret annex? You have options. 514, 693, 761. How many days did Anne Frank spend in her secret annex? Is it 514, 693, or 761? Number 8. In what year did Elizabeth II become queen immediately following her father's death? In what year did Elizabeth II become queen immediately following her father's death? I reckon Ryan will get this. I remember the Golden Jubilee. We had a big street party. I got a little coin that said Golden Jubilee on it. It was cute. And I only really know the year that the Queen became the Queen because I remember what year the Golden Jubilee was, which seems a bit weird. You should really remember the factual things, like when she was Queen. Number 9. Aquae Sulis, possibly Sulis, but I think it's Aquae Sulis, is the Roman name of which English city? Aquae Sulis is the Roman name of which English city? And number 10. Which famous battle occurred in 1066? I really hope that you're all singing. If you're British, you're all singing the advert. Which famous battle occurred in 1066? Oh, apparently Ryan's on it with the Roman names of cities. I'm not sure why he's so clued up on Roman names of cities. It's such a niche knowledge to have. Right, I'm going to do a whistle-stop tour of history. Here we go. Number 1, Henry VIII's last wife. Number 2, when did World War I begin? Number 3, who found the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings in November 1922? Number 4, during the Crimean War, who was the lady with the lamp? Number 5, what nationality was polar explorer Roald Amundsen? Number 6, Donald Trump is which number president? Number 7, how many days did Anne Frank spend in her secret annex? Number 8, in what year did Elizabeth II become queen immediately following her father's death? Number 9, Aquae Sulis is the Roman name of which English city? And number 10, which famous battle occurred in 1066? Those are your history questions. Last round. The last round is art and literature. Art and literature. And again, 10 questions, no bonus points here. I'm hoping there's enough in here for everybody. There are some relatively British questions. I just keep looking at it and how British it is, but I suppose they're my questions and I'm British. So I'm very sorry for any of you who are not British, but I'm hoping that you can get at least some. So here we go, round number 6, art and lit. Number 1, which famous artist painted sunflowers? Which famous artist painted sunflowers? I feel like me and Ryan have actually seen one of the sunflowers. Possibly in British Museum or the National Gallery or one of them. I'm not sure which one we went to. Number 2, in which Shakespeare play would you find the characters Puck, Titania, and Bottom? In which Shakespeare play would you find the characters Puck, Titania, and Bottom? I've just received a question asking if you can have the options for Anne Frank again. You may. So jumping back around to round 5, question 7. How many days did Anne Frank spend in her secret annex? It was 514, 693, or 761. They were your options. 514, 693, 761. And someone has said, at least I'm represented through the Anne Frank question. Okay, that's good. Right, jumping back to round 6. Just did in which Shakespeare play would you find the characters Puck, Titania, and Bottom? Number 3, how many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge? How many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge? I'd like to point out this is not the Muppets Christmas Carol version. It is the normal version by Charles Dickens. How many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge? Oh, and someone's literally just said original or Muppets. It is the original version. I really hope that wasn't a legit question from the Pats over there. Number 4. Harry Potter series. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington is better known by what name? In the Harry Potter series, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington is better known by what name? That one goes out to Daphne and to Ryan. Everyone who's basically said that they love Harry Potter. Number 5. The Mona Lisa hangs in which art gallery? The Mona Lisa hangs in which art gallery? Number 6. Which singer-songwriter writes the Christmasaurus series of books? Which singer-songwriter writes the Christmasaurus series of books? There's a lot of S's in that sentence. Who writes the Christmasaurus series of books? Apparently, Daphne had the exact question a week ago, only the other way round. Oh, I assume that was for the Mona Lisa question, in which case you should know. That's at least one in this round. Oh, I just knew the Pat family would put hearts for that question. I just knew it. Right, number 7. The sculpture David was created by which artist? The sculpture David was created by which artist? Oh, you meant the Harry Potter question, but that's fine. Yeah, I decided to do it that way around. I thought it'd be a little bit easier than the other way around. Right, number 8. Name the 5th member of the famous 5. George, Julian, Dick, Anne, and somebody else. Who is the 5th member of the famous 5? You've got George, Julian, Dick, Anne, and someone else. Number 9. In which magical land might you be greeted by Mr. Tumnus? In which magical land might you be greeted by Mr. Tumnus? And last but not least, number 10. Who wrote the book Matilda? Who wrote the book Matilda? Okay, I'm going to do a quick run of art and lit. Number 1, which famous artist painted sunflowers? Number 2, in which Shakespeare play would you find the characters Puck, Titania, and Bottom? Number 3, how many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge in the original story? Number 4, in the Harry Potter series, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy Porpington is better known by what name? Number 5, the Mona Lisa hangs in which art gallery? Number 6, which singer-songwriter writes the Christmasaurus series of books? The sculpture David was created by which artist? Name the 5th member of the famous 5. George, Julian, Dick, Anne, and which member? Number 9. In which magical land might you be greeted by Mr. Tumnus? And number 10. Who wrote the book Matilda? That concludes our pub quiz questions this week. If you would like any repeats, please do ask me now. If I don't receive any repeat requests, I will just crack on with the answers. And hopefully you guys are ready to roll with the answers as soon as I give them, because I don't want to go too fast for you all. If you're watching on catch up, these bits could be super boring, by the way. So sorry if that's the case. Just because I've got to wait for people to say, yeah, we're good. But if you're watching on catch up, obviously there's no one there to do it. Someone's already said, I can tell I've done shocking. Sorry. The highest that I've had so far on this quiz, so this is doing it with my family and doing it with the theatre company that I did it with yesterday. The highest that a team got was 60 out of 72. My family averaged about 47 out of 72. But there were also people yesterday that got like 25. There were some people that got 18. So there's a lot of different spans of people that have done this quiz. So I'm very interested to see what everyone gets. Right, I've had no requests for repeats, so I'm just going to crack on. Just going to crack on with the answers. So, winding our way back to round one, geography. The Asian country formerly known as Siam is now known as Thailand. Thailand is what Siam used to be called. No, Ian was not the high scorer. He got 57, so almost the high scorer. Number 2. What is the name of the tallest waterfall in the world? Bonus point if you can name the country in which you can find it. The tallest waterfall is Angel Falls, and the country is Venezuela. The reason I said it's loosely based on Pixar is because that is what Paradise Falls is based on in Up. So that was what might have helped some of you. Number 3. How many counties are there in England? 38, 48, or 58? It was 48. There are 48 counties in England. I didn't think there was that many, but there are. I could name probably 6. Number 4. Which river runs through Paris? It's the Seine or the Seine, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I know that for a fact because of Mamma Mia and the song Our Last Summer. They go, walks along the Seine, laughing in the rain, and it makes me laugh. So that. Number 5. Lima is the capital city of Peru. Lima is the capital city of Peru. Number 6. Uluru is more commonly known as Ayers Rock. Ayers Rock in Australia, the really big, this sort of colour, I suppose, rock. It is Ayers Rock, but Uluru, I believe, is the I can't think of the words I'm looking for, like kind of tribal name, I suppose. So Ayers Rock is Uluru. Number 7, the first 4 national parks to be opened in the UK, all opened in 1951. Name 2 of them. So you get 2 points if you got 2 correct. You get 1 point if you got 1 correct. So Dartmoor, Snowdonia, the Peak District, and the Lake District. That's Dartmoor, Snowdonia, Peak District, Lake District. As I said before, if you got all 4 of them, you still only get 2 points because I only asked for 2. Right, number 8. If I was going to fly from London to New York City, which ocean would I fly over? It is, of course, the Atlantic Ocean. You would fly over the Atlantic Ocean. Number 9. This one was tricky. Africa's Big 5. You could get 5 points for this question. The Big 5 are lion, elephant, leopard, rhinoceros, and buffalo. It's a Cape buffalo, but if you put buffalo, that is okay. There's no giraffe in there. There's no hippopotamus like I wanted there to be. Lion, elephant, leopard, rhinoceros, and buffalo. If you got any number of them, you can tick off the amount that you got, and those are your points. So I think yesterday when I did to my brother, he got 3 out of 5, and then he said giraffe and hippo as well, so he only got 3. Number 10, how many states in the USA begin with the letter M? There are 8 states that begin with the letter M. There's a lot of states that begin with one letter. I have not got them written down, I swear. I'm going to see if I can name them. I missed one yesterday. Montana, Maine, Maryland, Missouri, Mississippi, Michigan, Minnesota. There's always one. There's always one. I've missed one. If you know what it is, let me know. I can't name them all again because I'll name 7 different ones. There's an 8. Yesterday I missed Montana, but I've definitely said that today. So I don't know what the eighth one is. I'm gonna have to pause. Yeah, yeah. I feel like that was. I don't know what that was. Oh, Massachusetts. Thank you, Carol. Um, I don't know what that was. I think that might have been Ryan yelling. Oh, for goodness sake! What? I think it was Ryan yelling and saying that he got the right answer, but does he realize I'm doing a live stream? I don't know. So right, that was your answers. Let me know what your thoughts are. What you got, your scores, etc. Let me know in the comments before I do anything else because I want to see what you got. 11 points out of 16. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Six out of 16. It's not too bad. 8, 13. Okay, cool. Right, so we've got some pretty good scores. 13, I think, is the highest one so far. Round number 2, entertainment. Let's get going. So, the popular children's TV show that ran from the 1950s to the 1980s in the UK began with the words, "It's Friday, it's 5 to 5." It's Crackerjack. Crackerjack was the name of the TV show. That was definitely one that parents got more in my quiz yesterday because it was kind of their era. So number 2, the musical "We Will Rock You" includes the music of Queen. Queen. Okay, number 3, name all 4 Teletubbies. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, La, Po. Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa, and Po. Oh, Martin knew Crackerjack. Yes, Martin. Martin knows where the good TV shows are at. So Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa, and Po, they're 1 point each. Although it would surprise me if any of you got some of the Teletubbies and not all of them, because they kind of just come as a group. Number 4, how many number 1 singles has Ed Sheeran had? I will admit I did not know this. I had to Google it. It was 6. He's only had 6 number 1 singles. You feel like you're always hearing his songs and they should always be popular. But it is in fact 6. Number 5, which English actor won the 2014 Academy Award for Best Actor in his role in The Theory of Everything? Eddie Redmayne. It was Eddie Redmayne. Mum, for some reason, always gets Eddie Redmayne and Benedict Cumberbatch confused, and I don't understand why. Oh, Chloe. Chloe put 5 for the Ed Sheeran one. That's sad. That is sad. Number 6. What was the name of the flying car invented by Caractacus Potts? That was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Oh, chitty you, chitty pretty, chitty bang bang. Which is why I'm hoping that no one put anything like legit, like science legit. It's definitely entertainment. Number 7. Name all 4 members of Little Mix. The first names are fine, but I'm going to tell you their full names just in case you put full names. 1 point for each correct member. So you've got Leanne Pinnock, Jessie Nelson, Jade Thirlwall, and Perry Edwards. Leanne, Jessie, Jade, and Perry are the 4 members of Little Mix. 1 point for each correct answer. Number 8. In which movie did David Bowie appear as Jareth the Goblin King? That was Labyrinth. Labyrinth was the movie. We had some interesting answers yesterday. My brother said Pan's Labyrinth, which is a different thing altogether. And my dad said something like the Dark Crystal is what my dad said. because originally he was like, I think it sounds a bit like the Crystal Maze. And I was like, what? And then he ends up putting Dark Crystal when it was actually Labyrinth, like the Crystal Maze. I don't know. So yes, it was Labyrinth. It was not The Hobbit, like Ryan apparently said. Which musical is the song I Think I'm Gonna Like It Here from? It is from Annie. Annie. It was the absolute bane of my life when I did it, when I was MDing a musical theatre show a couple of years ago. It was one of those hard songs. It was just so hard. It was such a hard song to put together. So yes, it was from Annie. Now I've just seen a comment from Rachel. That is the exact comment that Ian put last night. I just thought I'd let you know. And we went through it together. It was great. Number 10. What is the name of the Hobbit played by Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movies? It is, of course, Frodo Baggins. Not Bilbo. It was Frodo. Frodo Baggins. So that one should be out of 16 again. If you do the 4 Little Mixes and the 4 Teletubbies, it will be out of 16. Let me know how you got on. Oh, Helena Martin, 14. That was a decent one. It makes up for your geography, so it's kind of evened you out. Ryan and his sister both got 14. That is cool. Rachel is slowly becoming Ian. That's also really cool. Carol got 14. Rachel got 15. Oh, Rach, you are smashing that round. What was the one you got wrong? Was it Ed Sheeran? Or Crackerjack? Daphne got 8. That was all right. 8's half. 8 is half. This is good. Right. Okay. Team. We're moving on to science and nature answers. So, number 1. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13. It's not the fear of Triscuits. So Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of the number 13. Number 2, the collective name for a group of owls is a parliament. A parliament of owls. Number 3, the largest internal organ is the liver. Don't feel bad if you put anything else, because everyone in my house said the large intestines. So I think they just went with the name. The largest organ ever is the skin, because apparently skin is an organ. But the largest internal organ is the liver. Number 4, quicksilver is also known as mercury. Mercury. And used to be used in those kind of thermometers that had the bit that goes up, but then it was poisonous, so they took it out. Number 5, approximately what percentage of the Earth's surface is covered by water? It was 71%. A lot of water. 71% of the Earth is covered in water. Number 6, on what continent do giraffes live in the wild? It is Africa, but it was a little bit of a sneaky question in there because they're not part of the Big 5. So I didn't know if anyone would be like, hang on a minute, you asked this earlier with the Big 5 and then maybe take the giraffes out. So giraffes live in Africa. Number 7, the 2-letter periodic symbol for iron is Fe. Fe. It comes from something like ferrous or something like that. That's like the ore that iron is extracted from, which is why it's Fe. It's or ferrite or something like that. So yeah, that's why it's Fe. My dad's answer for that one was An. And I was like, iron. I wasn't sure if that was where he was going, but no. So, number 8. I asked you to think hard about this one because I didn't want any mistakes. In 1961, the first human being to travel into space was Yuri Gagarin. And a lot of you might have put that, and that's fab, but don't feel bad if you put Neil Armstrong. Because a lot of people did yesterday because they didn't get the travel into space. They went with on the moon. And Neil Armstrong was the first man on the moon, but Yuri Gagarin was the first man into space. So that is why I asked you to think about it. Number 9, the longest bone in the human body is either the femur or the thigh bone, depending on which one you would rather put. The femur or the thigh bone. My brother very, very, very sneakily got that as a question because he said, oh, I think it's your shin bone. And then I said, can I have the technical name? And he said the femur. So he actually ended up getting the right answer, even though he was in the wrong part of the body. Number 10. The name given to a baby koala is a joey. A baby koala is a joey, like a baby kangaroo. So out of 10, what did we get? What are our scores out of 10 for this one? Oh no. Oh, Helen Martin. Your entertainment has now trumped everything. You can never get higher than your entertainment. That is like the peak. I mean, Ryan just said we're not going to mention the score. Helena and Martin got 2. So I think you should mention your score. 8. Okay, 8. 8 out of 10 is better than 8 out of 16. 8 for Carol, 4 for me. Told you I'm shocking. Nice. Okay, good. So this is okay. Ryan got 3. So Helena, Martin, and Ryan and Nikita, you need to improve your science and nature knowledge. Right. Sport and leisure. Here we go. Ryan's feeling smug though because he got the Ed Sheeran one in the last round. So don't panic. He knows his Ed Sheeran, just doesn't know where giraffes live. So sport and leisure. Number 1, who ran the first 4-minute mile? It was Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister was famous for running the 4-minute mile. There are people that have there's people that have done it since, but he did it first. Number 2, the small round object that ice hockey teams hit with their sticks is a puck. It's a puck, which we will come back to in a later round. Number 3, you can win the Davis Cup in tennis. You can win the Davis Cup in tennis. Number 4, the Barcelona football stadium. Helena and Martin, get ready to kick yourselves. It is Nou Camp or Camp Nou. There's various ways of saying it, but it's Nou Camp or Camp Nou. It doesn't matter how you spell it, as long as it sounds like a new camp. Number 5. Oh, they remembered. Oh, this is good. They remembered. Great. So you've got at least one. Number 5, the most expensive property on the standard British Monopoly board is in fact not the Lion King. It is Mayfair. Mayfair. Oh, see, I love when that happens. When you remember a question from a previous round when you're doing it later, and you're like, oh, remember it now. Number 6, in netball, WA stands for wing attack. I only knew that from having to wear all the bibs in secondary school, and they made you go outside when it was cold and play netball. So yeah, wing attack is what WA stands for. Rachel just put the last one before go instead of Mayfair. You're not wrong. And to be fair, Daphne, Oxford Street is a good guess. If Oxford Street is one, I feel like it's green, but I'm not sure. Where have I got to? I'm lost in place. Oh, which chess piece can only move diagonally? It is the bishop. The bishop can only move diagonally. Number 8, in meters, an Olympic swimming pool is 50 meters long. 50 meters, that's pretty far. Number 9, the national sport of Japan is sumo wrestling. Sumo wrestling. Number 10, in the London 2012 Olympics, Team GB won their first gold medal in women's boxing, and it was Nicola Adams that won it. Nicola Adams. Okie dokie, mark yourselves out of 10 for your sport and leisure round. And I want to hear what you got. I feel like I haven't tossed up everyone's answers, but from those that are replying, I kind of feel like Carol is currently winning. Helena Martin got 8. Daphne got 6. This is good. This is a good round. It's more than half. Ryan and Nikita got 8. There are also other people playing, by the way, that are not on the chat. So hi to all of you. I just don't get to say hi to you. 4.5. Rachel, why have you got a 0.5? No one said that there was a 0.5. 9 for Carol. Yeah, Carol's on it. Carol is, yeah, she's on it. All right. Number 5, history. Who was Henry VIII's last wife? It was Catherine Parr. Catherine Parr was his last wife. World War One began. World War One began in 1914. So I have to read out the text that I saw earlier. So I said, when did World War One begin? And Ryan's sister says 1908, and he goes, no, 14. And she goes, oh, 1408. Cracked me up when I read it. I absolutely loved it. I love that Daphne only knew this because of the musical Six. What a banging musical that is. That's a pretty good reference, to be fair. Number 3, who found the entrance to Tutankhamun's tomb in the Valley of the Kings in November 1922? I will be interested to know how many of you knew this. It was Dr. Howard Carter. I will accept Dr. Carter. I will accept Howard Carter. I will not accept Carter. I suppose I will if you've got Dr. Carter. You can have Carter. I won't accept Dr. Howard. And I won't accept Howard. So, do what you will with that. Number 4, during the Crimean War, who was the lady with the lamp? It was Florence Nightingale. She was the lady with the lamp. Not sure why. I'll Google that later. The nationality of the polar explorer Roald Amundsen was Norwegian. He was a Norwegian polar explorer. Number 6, Donald Trump is the 45th president of the United States of America. 45th. Anne Frank spent 761 days in her secret annex. That's more than 2 years. We can survive lockdown, people. 761 days. In what year did Elizabeth II become queen? It was 1952. 1952. I remember celebrating the Golden Jubilee in 2002. She actually wasn't officially coronated, I think, until the next year. So if you put 1953, sorry. She became queen in 1952, but wasn't officially coronated till later. Aquae Sulis is the Roman name of Bath. You might have been able to figure that out from aqua, the aquae. Aquae Sulis is the Roman name of Bath. And number 10, the famous battle that occurred in 1066. 0800 1066. It was the Battle of Hastings. Good old Harold Hastings. 1066 was the Battle of Hastings. Tot up your history answers. Let me know how you did. 7, decent. 7, 5, 6. 5. Oh, see, Ryan put 1953. That's a shame. That's 1953, not 1453. Classic banter. Right, here we go. Art and lit. The famous artist that painted the sunflowers was Van Gogh, whichever way you would like to say it. The Shakespeare play in which you find Puck, Titania, and Bottom is my personal favourite. I think it's such a good play. It's Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream. It's a beautiful production. Number 3, how many ghosts visit Ebenezer Scrooge? It is 4. Do not be disheartened if you put 3, because a lot of people only think of the past, present, and future, but there is, of course, Jacob Marley as well. In the Muppets Christmas Carol, there is Jacob and Robert Marley. That's why I suggested it was probably better to think about the original. So there are 4 ghosts from the Christmas Carol. Number 4, Sir Nicholas de Mimsy-Porpington is better known as Nearly Headless Nick. Sir Nicholas de Mimsy-Porpington is Nearly Headless Nick. Number 5, the Mona Lisa hangs in the Louvre. The Louvre in Paris. You do not have to have spelt that correctly. As long as it kind of looks a bit like Lou and then the. Great, the Louvre. The singer-songwriter that wrote the Christmasaurus series of books was Tom Fletcher. Tom Fletcher from the band McFly. He wrote the Christmasaurus series of books. Tom Fletcher. Number 7. David, the sculpture of David, was created by Michelangelo. Michelangelo's David. The 5th member of the famous 5. You've got George, Julian, Dick, Anne, and Timmy. Timmy is the dog. Timmy the dog. You can have Timmy the dog. You can have Timmy. You can't have the dog. And you can't have Timothy or Tim, like my brother tried to be earlier. Timmy or Timmy the dog are both acceptable answers. Number 9. In which magical land would you be greeted by Mr. Tumnus? It was Narnia. As in, go through the back of the wardrobe, find all the snow, and meet Mr. Tumnus by the lamppost. So Narnia is your answer. And number 10, your last question. Who wrote the book Matilda? It was Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl wrote Matilda. So, first things first, let me know your scores for the 6th round, for the art and lit round, and then top them all up and let me know what you got out of 72. So we can find ourselves a winner of at least the people who are commenting right now. If there's anyone else that you get more, you get eternal glory in your own homes. 9 for Helena and Martin and Art and Lit. Beautiful round. 7 for Ryan and Nikita. My nose looks incredibly shiny, right? Oh, look at that. Woo! 10 for Carol. Carol, you are on it. 8 for Rach. 8 for Daphne. This is all going well. This is all going well. Okay, team, top them up. Let me know where you're fixed. Who won? $48. That was the exact score that my brother got. So there you go, Daphne. You know as much as my brother does. Actually, probably different questions. 41 for the Chloe clan. 46 for Helena and Martin. 52 for James Sullivan, who was only just come in and joined us. Hi, James. 52, decent score there. I'm still waiting on Ryan and team to see what they got. Oh, he's typing 49. 49, not bad at all. You got one more than Bub, so that's all right. Total 44.5 for Rachel and 60 for Kaz. Now, I believe that 60 is our winner. Now, 60 was our winner yesterday as well. So those people that got 60, that seems to be popular. I need to find someone that can get more than 60. Oh, apparently, my brother went to Cambridge University, and Ryan is now telling me that because he got one more than my brother, he is as smart as Stephen Hawking, who also went to Cambridge. And I'm like, what? Calm down. So thank you for all of you that joined me. We didn't have any buffering issues this time, which is awesome. And I think that's probably because I made everyone disappear from their devices while I did this. But thank you all for joining me. It was great fun. I might do another one at some point. I have got a musicals quiz that's just kind of sitting and not doing anything. So yeah, well, I might whip that out at some point. But thank you all for coming, and I hope you're all staying safe and healthy and happy. And I will see you all again shortly, at some point maybe, for another quiz. Oh, apparently Helena and Martin want a musicals quiz. I'll make it happen. We'll make a musicals quiz happen. It'll be great fun. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye.